What's good, everybody? This your boy KCFL King Self for Life Wrestler Takes it to give you my recap on Smackdown, Rampage, and my predictions going into NXT Deadline. We got Collision tonight, so I'm going to more than likely do a Collision / NXT Deadline review all wrapped in one. That's how I normally do it. When the pay-per-view and the TV show come on at the same time, that's how I normally do it. But I just wanted to get my thoughts on Smackdown, Rampage. We're going to break down everything on what I thought about the promo. This is the second promo, the second opportunity for him to say what he had to say. And I'm going to be 100% with you. I absolutely enjoyed it. I liked it. He did take a shot at AEW. It was a subtle shot. He really couldn't go as hard because of that NDA. I said NWA like this was Negroes. You know what. I'm like, no. NDA, which is a legal situation. I had it totally wrong when I had said it in my Raw review, so I apologize about that. But let's go ahead and open up this show. Now, SmackDown, overall, it was a decent show, better than last week. Did not like the first hour. The first hour was crap. It was a complete waste of time. I get it. H has a tournament for the U.S. title going on, and he's somewhat trying to have the, like I said, man, the story of Bailey and Damaged Goods was sitting at War Games right there. You could have had a host of things that you could have been doing, but instead, we've been running rematches with the girls, and an unfortunate injury took place. I know I crack on her, I call her the android, but I do not be wishing harm on her or anything. Man, I send my condolences out to Miss Charlotte Flair. We don't know the status of her injury, but she was saying my knee. I thought maybe she was working at first, but I didn't see the clip that happened. And yes, it was a botch move. They were trying to do a moonsault off the top rope, and she straight tripped. Listen, man, can I be 100% with y'all? I know everybody holds the 4 horsewomen up there as the standard for women's pro wrestling, but this seems like all of them been low key. The one who's actually been able to stay stable is Becky. And even Becky has some knick-knack injuries, but Bailey has got hurt. We've been waiting on the return of Mercedes Moné whenever she planned on doing. Charlotte just got hurt. I'm like, man, the 4 horsewomen, man, they've been, man, it's like, dog. Now Charlotte is injured. I'm like, man, I send my thoughts and prayers out to her. Like I said, I just crap on her because I know that she could be so much better than what she is when she go out there in the ring. But I don't never wish harm on her or anything. So I just want to start my video off by saying I will send my best thoughts and wishes out to her. I hope it's a speedy recovery. We ain't heard nothing about how long she going to be out or anything. We don't know. But we just going based off what we seen online and everything, and what we seen from SmackDown. But hour 1 for SmackDown was garbage. Trash. I'm going to break it down, and then we're going to talk about from hour 2 when this cat right here pulled up. I'm going to break it down. So we are coming in live from the American Mutual Pavilion, Providence, in Rhode Island. This is a military force. This is, like I said, it was the Tribute to the Troops episode. And we have done Tribute to the Troops in a long time. And I wasn't really paying attention on who was on commentary. They decided to bring just a big lame out there. And I forgot that he is actually the founder of Tribute to the Troops. You would have thought Vince McMahon would have been the founder of Tribute to the Troops. Nope. JBL was the pound for pound creator of Tribute to the Troops. That tells me, I wonder if JBL must have a background in the military. But they showcase all the old footage of everybody from back in the day when they would go out there with the troops. And they get the opportunity for people who are in WWE right now to basically send a salute. Salute to Montez. Montez was a former Army salute. He went into the military, he said, right at the high school. Salute to him. I don't know who else was able to cut a video, but I'm pretty sure it's a whole bunch of cats that work in the back that was a part of the military. But that was okay. Like I said, we open up the show and we get the first matchup for the United States Championship No. 1 Contenders Tournament, which is pretty much a rematch of what took place at War Games. And I didn't care about it. I didn't care about it then, I didn't care about it now. And with Dragon Lee, who's on the pay-per-view tonight, lost clean, that more than likely means maybe Dragon Lee might take down Dom. And after the matchup, Dom came out there just talking about, you ain't winning this, you ain't doing nothing. He might. I don't know. Santos Escobar moves on. and we getting him, and then the cat who gonna go on against later on. Talked about Randy Orton pulling up last week. He was in the office and he apologized to Nick Aldis for RKO him, but he gave him a fine for he gave him so he already paid him $50,000, and then he said here's another one. He said, what's this for? He said, for when I do it again. Obviously he told him, I'm gonna RKO that boy again. So he pretty much setting his sights on you know who, but guess who's in his way? LA Knight. They're telling you that eventually we're gonna get Randy Orton versus LA Knight, and more than likely the winner gets to lose to Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble, because that's basically where it's going. Then out of nowhere, here comes this Jack in the Box. Cody Rhodes with he is there to salute to the doggone families of the military and all this crap. I'm like, man, listen, we know what they're doing. I see what they're doing. They want to constantly push this cat down everybody's throat because they know that he's potentially the guy to quote unquote take down Roman Reigns. However, a certain somebody is right there who's pulling up after him. So then we get Bobby Lashley. That's right, Bobby Lashley also was in the army. We get him versus Karrion Kross. Didn't care about this. Bobby Lashley wins. So we get him and Santos next week. Now, I saw something on Twitter. I made a response to it. They said, do you want to see another Bobby Lashley WWE title reign? I said I would not mind it. The problem is we cannot trust Triple H, because he has absolutely no idea how to book the brothers and sisters on his product. So why the heck would I be enthused on seeing another title run from Bobby Lashley when I already know the script? I already know how H and them get down. So I'm like, I can't. There is no hope to see another title run with Bobby Lashley or something. There is none. I know people is ecstatic because they want to see it, but I'm just telling you both it's true. I can't trust H and them. I can't. I truly can't. But that's all I wanted to say about that. But Bobby Lashley moves on. He's going against Santos next week. Backstage segment, Damage Control, Damage Goods. They all getting fired up for the matchup, the rematch, Asuka versus Charlotte later on. So you got all the members from Dakota to Io to Kairi Sane. And then Asuka and Io are shadowboxing. They shadowboxing. And then she high-fiving everybody. And then Bayley just walks up out of nowhere. Bayley walks up, and then Asuka barely wants to give her a high five. And then Dakota was kind of pull her to the side and say, you know, let me tell y'all something. Y'all do know that Dakota Kai is going to be the mouthpiece for them. Like, the handwriting is on the wall. The handwriting is literally on the wall, ladies and gentlemen. It's on the wall. Like I said, I don't know what they're waiting on, but the handwriting is on the wall. They are going to turn on Bayley. It's bound to happen. So, the man comes out. He comes out, and I'm telling you, the reaction, I've seen people online talk about it was a mixed reaction. I don't know. Based on what I've seen, they went nuts out there. I know these are a lot of people who are in the military, and a lot of times they don't really have time to watch wrestling because they fight for our rights. They fight for us, you know what I'm saying? But he went out there. He said what he said. He said he had a lot of time to speak. He said obviously he didn't get enough time while he was on Raw. And he went down the list and he name dropped so many different wrestlers that didn't even make no sense. I said, the boy is setting up several future feuds that he could potentially have. Kevin Owens. He mentioned LA Knight. He mentioned Cody Rhodes. He mentioned Jimmy. He mentioned Jay. He mentioned Solo. He mentioned Randy. He even mentioned Roman Reigns. And he said, oh, Roman, by the way, I was the original Paul Heyman guy. And then he got down to the edible. He didn't mention his name, but he said that everybody and their mother knows who's the man of the house, and the show ain't you. All you got is the doggone theme song. So the potential shot that he quote-unquote took to AEW was, hey, let's not be backstage just randomly running up on people and punching people in the face. I say, look, I don't know why people get so bent out of shape. I'm like, do y'all understand? I guess y'all must don't like competition. Y'all must don't like wrestling promotions taking shots at one another. That is great. I don't have a problem with it. Cats was going nuts when AEW was taking shots at WWE. So why the heck are we finna be tripping when cats in WWE taking shots at AEW? I don't know why cats are tripping. I just don't. To me, I'm cool with it. I don't have a problem with it. I've seen people tripping. I've seen people saying, oh, this is garbage promo. We ain't getting no reaction. Was that supposed to be funny? Oh, the Young Bucks are living rent-free in his head and all this crap. I say, yeah. And guess what? AEW has kind of been on the downward spiral as of late. Because that man left. I'm just calling spade to fade. Spade is fade. But I listen. I personally thought that this was the better PG Punk promo than the Monday Night Raw promo. I did. And I like the fact that he set up several different feuds. In the final statement, he said, all I care is I want a main event WrestleMania 40. That's it. That was it, ladies and gentlemen. He said what he had to say, talked about Kevin Owens and them. I'm telling you right now, listen, you got potential feuds set up. I'm here for it. As long as those feuds get the money and they make sense, I'm here for it, ladies and gentlemen. I am genuinely here for it. So, he pretty much told Cody, I'm going to win the Royal Rumble, whether you like it or not. And I think he will win. Let's see. So backstage, he walked past Roman's locker room door and it said the Bloodline. He looked at it. Then he walked into Kevin Owens and then he seen Randy Orton and LA Knight. And a lot of people was bringing up back in the day, the last time CM Punk was actually in WWE, LA Knight was a doggone security guard. So, talking about full circle, you know what I mean? So, they pretty much letting y'all know what's about to pop off. Like, they letting y'all know. They are letting y'all know what's getting ready to pop off. And I'm like, I'm cool with it. I ain't got a problem with it. There it is. This was the matchup right here. Asuka versus Charlotte. So, we had Damaged Goods come out of nowhere, call themselves trying to do something. Then out comes Zelina Vega, Mia Yim, and then you had Io Sky. I mean, you had Shotzi Blackheart and Bianca Belair standing at the door, making sure that the other 3 girls or 4 girls wouldn't get involved in the matchup. So they pretty much got them out because I think last week Damaged Goods basically beat the brakes off of all of them. So they pretty much put them out of commission. So they was quote unquote giving them the receipt back. So because at first I was like, oh, this is a random mistake, but then I had to think about it. Oh yeah, that's right. They jumped them from last week. I got a feeling that we're going to probably get a 4-on-4 next week. More than likely, that's what's going to happen. But like I said, Charlotte's out the door right now. So, you know. This matchup, man, I've seen it like 18 million times. And then, like I said, the injury that took place really, it didn't do anything. Because, like I said, it was just out there. You know what I'm saying? And then, like I said, it didn't help with Charlotte getting hurt. So Bayley showed up. Bayley came out there, and she almost messed around and hit Asuka, but she stopped herself. And then Charlotte Flair just jumped up, and then she whacked her. And then Asuka got the pin 1, 2, 3. So obviously, like I said, Charlotte Flair was hurt. Charlotte was done. So Bayley was talking about, that's right, I did it. I did that. In other words, I helped Asuka get the victory. She pretty much trying to make sure that she's still tight with everybody in Damaged Goods. But we already know Damaged Goods are going to turn on her. We already know it's coming. It should have happened a long time ago. It should have happened at War Games, if you ask me. Because their story should be going on right now. But H trying to play along. You're trying to, I guess, try to tell a better story. But I told you, you should have done it at War Games. That's what we should have been walking away from after that matchup. They should have done it. They should have did that situation at the War Games, and we would have been off to the fences. But nope. H called himself trying to tell a better story. I'm just going to let him do what he got to do. But like I said, she messed around. She got hurt. She's out. So that's that. So then Cody Rhodes and CM Punk was standing there looking at each other. And they pretty much told each other, hey, I know you say you going to finish your story, but I got to finish mine too. And a lot of people are already speculating that Cody Rhodes is screwed at WrestleMania. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know. WrestleMania is like, what, 6 months away? What is it, December? So it's December, January, February, March, April. Yeah, we literally 5 months away. Anything could change. Anything could change in pro wrestling. Anything. Like I said, everybody wouldn't even expect. Listen, I don't know about you, but I know Dane will. When 2023 first came through, I wasn't thinking about CM Punk going back to the E. Nobody was. Fast forward, this fool is getting ready to be in WrestleMania next year. This is crazy. It's crazy times we're living in, ladies and gentlemen. So then we got ready for pretty much the main event, which is LA Knight, Randy. I told you about CM Punk. They all ran up on each other and all that bull job, you know what I'm saying? So we got Solo and Jimmy Uso versus LA Knight, Randy Orton. Obviously, this is the best match on the show. But like I said, this is pretty much the beginning of their feud because their feud is to see who's going to be who's going to get the number one opportunity to job to Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. That's basically what the feud is about. Hey, I can't wait. I got to win. No, I got to win. It's me. I got to win this thing. I got to win it. I genuinely got to win this thing. I got to win it. I got to win this thing. So I can lose to Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. And you know what, y'all? I've been sitting up here talking. My microphone was laying down, so if y'all didn't hear anything I had to say, I apologize about that. I'm gonna watch this back just in case I make sure I heard myself. But LA Knight and Randy Orton got the victory, and throughout the whole match, these two kept tagging each other in because they basically wanted to showcase, no, it's my opportunity to take out Solo and Jimmy Uso. They basically were going tit for tat. And so after Randy Orton got the RKO, LA Knight was looking at that fool like, man, this is my spot. You done came back and you stole my... I like, LA Knight, bro, we already know. You listen, you got to wait till WrestleMania to more than likely get your opportunity to go against Logan Paul. But as of right now, you got to go back to the bottom of the barrel. That's it. They win. Like I said, obviously this is the best match on the show. Hour 1, crap. Hour 2, fantastic. So overall, I thought SmackDown was a solid show. Better than last week. Set the stone for next week. That's all I'm going to say about that on WWE side of things. Let's go ahead and get into the Rampage side of things. Hold on. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. So, we get this. Now, the only 2 matches I cared about on this show was Bryan Danielson and DG and Abaddon versus Trish Adora. Everything else on the show didn't really care too much because they just random matches, like I said. Now, the reason why I'm cool with this is because they're building Abaddon. And then this is obviously the Continental Classic. So these are the 2 matches that matter. All this other crap was just there to be there, ladies and gentlemen. That's all it was. It was just there to be there. That's all. You know, and it's sad because a lot of people had potential for the Don Callis family. But as of right now, they feel like an afterthought. I mean, you're going against 2 jobbers like Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal. You know, like, how can people really get invested? That's why I say I wish... What Tony Khan and them going to have to do, you're going to have a doggone draft. We're going to have cats that's going to be drafted to Dynamite and cats that's going to be drafted to Collision. So if you're on Dynamite, you pull up on Rampage. If you're on Collision, you stay on Collision. That's it. Like, that's what I would be doing. Literally, that's what I would be doing. So we open up the show. So OC is out there. Him and Hook, they out there. And out of nowhere, Angelico is going up against him for the AEW International Championship. Again, random match. Random match that don't lead to nothing. That's what I say. If they made this feel important, cats probably would care. Now, was the match good? It was decent. Like I say, OC always have. OC have solid. He have good to solid matches no matter who he get in the ring with. The problem is just, do we care about his reign? And that's on Tony Khan because Tony Khan doesn't put forth an effort to get people invested. Like, every title don't need to be the work rate title. You have one title that's your work rate championship. Everything else, all your other titles should feel different. They should not feel the same. And that's one of his biggest problems. Again, booking. See, like I said, you want a genuine AEW fan that's going to give a honest, unbiased perspective about what's going on AEW. You got to come over here to Caseville Wrestling Takes because I'm going to give you 100% truth about what's really going on in these AEW streets, as what they all say. But, like I said, decent match. Like I said, he beat him. And you had, now, as the match was before the match, Hook, OC, Danhausen, and Danhausen brought his little baby girl out there. I said, oh, boy. I said, they trying desperately to get people to get behind Danhausen. I'm like, he had his little kid out there. She was dressed up like him. She was doing the little thing as he putting the curse on somebody. I'm like, it is what it is of that. But, man, listen, I remember a time when Lucha Underground was the hot show. And this young man right here, Angelico, that boy was a gem. He was a gem on doggone Lucha Underground. Now, this fool is an afterthought. According to, thank you, TK. Thank you for turning my man Angelico into an afterthought. Sad, man. Like I said, these matches could feel so much more important if Tony Khan built the cats up who were going against them. But TK don't be caring, man. He don't. So, Serp's Tipico came out there trying to cheat and all this crap. You know, it is what it is. But the OC ended up winning with the orange punch. He beat him. Now, the reason why I was looking forward to this, and I know people will say, well, it's another random match and everything. Look, Let me tell y'all something. I seen cats online crying. I saw them online crying and acting a fool. They was online crying. They was crying. Let me tell y'all something. The reason why I wasn't really tripping about this is because of the storyline that they actually trying to build with the zombie girl. They are literally trying to build up the zombie girl right now. They are trying. Because I told you, the title match that I need to happen at World's End is her versus Julia Hart. Abaddon versus Julia Hart must happen at World's End. Don't do it on Dynamite. Don't do it on Rampage. Don't do it. I know Tony Khan can't help himself. He love to do it. You add more legs to it. So as of right now, you're building up Abaddon. Yes, she's going against. Yeah, I know. I seen y'all. I saw people was crying because she beat the snot out of Kiera Hogan last week. And then she went against Trish Adora. I know a lot of people know Trish Adora from the Pan-Africanism wrestling. I know she was the longest Pan-Africanism champion of all time. But let me tell you something. TK ain't showcasing her as a regular. So I'm like, okay, makes sense for Abaddon to beat the brakes off of her too. I mean, they building up Abaddon. If you decided to build up Trish Adora every once in a while, maybe cats wouldn't be crying. But they don't do that. So that's why I wasn't really tripping about it. I get it. I understand. I know you. How many times I be talking about it? I talk about how H can't do. He can't book us over there. And then guess what? I know y'all try to turn around and say, well, T can't. I get it. I understand where you're coming from. But as of right now, they're trying to build up Abaddon. They're trying to build up the zombie, and they're trying to add legs to it. That's all that's going on. They just add legs to it. They building up her resume, so it looks like she's this dominant monster that's going to constantly try to take out the witch. You know she's not, but I get what they're trying to do, and that's why I'm on board. Now, how was the matchup? Matchup was okay. It was decent. Like I said, I'm not real. Like, I need to see a little bit more of Trish Adora. I need to see way more. That's up to TK if he wants to, because as of right now, she's under the company. She's under the umbrella. She is in a trios with Captain Sean Dean and the homeboy, what's his name? Carl or something like that. I think it's his birthday today too. They in the trios on Ring of Honor. So she's under the AEW umbrella. Like I said, it's a whole bunch of girls they got down there. It's a whole bunch of them. That's why I said, man, the cats that's on Ring of Honor should stay on Ring of Honor unless Tony Khan is bringing them up to be featured players than to be on the main roster. Because if you stuck on an app that ain't nobody watching, nobody really gonna care. So when you come up, everybody automatically know you're a jobber. So, but like I said, the Abaddon girl, they're building her up right now. And I'm cool with it. How many times have we been asking, we want more story with the girls? We want more story. I've seen it. That's all everybody say. AEW Women's Division woo-woo this, woo-woo that. That's all I see. That's it. Well, Tony Khan is trying to do it with the TBS title. Julia don't need to be wrestling nobody no time soon. However, she needs to continue to keep trying to get the up one on Abaddon. Just like Abaddon's going to keep wrestling girls left and right until we get to World's End. That is, I'm cool with. I don't have a problem with it. But in the meantime, they need to try to each other. I don't want the match to happen on a Rampage or happen on a Dynamite or happen on the Collision. I want the match to happen at World's End. That's what I'm looking for. Pay-per-view build up. That's what the wrestling TV show is for. Like I said, we don't need to keep having, like I said, I'm cool with this match because there's the story. And guess what happened? After she beat Trish Adora, the lights went off. Julia came out of nowhere. She tried to scare her. It didn't work. She laid the TBS title right in front of her. She picked that thing up and she was growling all over it and everything. Let me tell you something. Keep this up. Keep Abandon looking hot. Keep her looking strong. Keep her built up. Keep doing what you got to do. And then it just builds more anticipation to the matchup that's going to happen at World's End. We know she's not beating her, but I'm telling you, just that's what you do. And I didn't have a problem with it. I seen fools online crying about it. I seen them. I saw y'all. I seen every single one of y'all talking about it. I didn't have a problem with it. I legitimately didn't. Now this matchup right here, if it was leading to something, I would have been cool with it. Like I said, Takeshi and Powerhouse should be doing something way much better instead of beating the brakes off of Matt Sydal and Chris Daniels. They so much better than this, man. Oh boy. Like I said, man, Rampage can mean so much more if Tony Khan just absolutely just put more for effort into making people actually want to go out their way and watch the show. But because the show is taped, don't nobody give a crap about it. All they got to do is just go read the doggone spoilers, and they say I'm good, I'm straight. But for me, I cover this stuff, so y'all know you're gonna get an honest review on the situation. They beat these jumps like it was nothing. And where does this lead? What does this mean for Takeshi and Powerhouse Hobbs? Don't know. Don Callis was out there. Kyle Fletcher was out there looking like some kind of bodyguard or something with that doggone suit on. I'm like. So then we got a promo from Top Flight and Action Andrade. This is the downside of them. I love these cats. These brothers are great in the ring. The problem is, it's the promo work. Promo work makes you care about cats. They make you, the promo, when you speak, cats gonna be like, okay, I believe what this person say. I believe what he say. Or I believe what she say. This is the same situation that's going on with my girl Sky Blue. The promo work got to get better. And another thing too, they addressed the situation about Penta putting out that challenge. I'm sitting up and saying, we ain't seen the Acclaim since they got beat down. I'm like, I don't just want to have random trios matches for no reason. I'm like, you had a trios match, but how about this quote unquote be a qualification match to determine who's going to get the Acclaim at quote unquote World's End? Something like I don't want these fools wrestling for no reason. That's one of the biggest issues with Tony Khan, the random matches. Yeah, the match is going to be great, but what are they wrestling for? We ain't seen the Acclaim since they got jumped, since they got beat down by the Devil's Goons. I'm like, come on. Like, put forth effort, Tony Khan. Put forth a freaking effort. That's it. If they would have said, look, Penta put out a challenge for us to face him, Commander, and Vikingo, I'm like, look, all right, cool, but here's the deal. Nobody gunning for the Acclaim and Billy Gunn. Nobody. We ain't heard nobody mention their titles. We ain't heard nothing. Well, last we checked, they got jumped. How about this? How about we beat these circus clowns next week or whatever? We whip their behinds, and guess what? We automatically pull ourselves down to go after the doggone Trios Championships. Now, Cat's going to say, okay, I can't wait for this matchup. Because, see, now any one of these teams could win. Because, see, now you done disrespected by calling them circus clowns and stuff. I'm like, all right, cool. Because, I mean, I call them that because of what they be doing. The actors jumping off a thing, acrobats. I mean, that's the dang circus if you ask me. But I just gave you some story right there. But Tony Khan don't want to do nothing because all he just care about is just looking at somebody wrestle. He ain't really interested in telling stories. And then you wonder why the ratings are down, why ticket sales are down, why the merchandise sales are down. Story, larger than life characters, getting people invested. Cat's gonna say, I can't wait. I gotta go out my way and watch this. I got to. But see, somebody like me, I cover this. I'm gonna watch it regardless. Main event was great. I loved everything about it except for the final result. A lot of people have been complaining about the Continental Classic, saying even though there's been great wrestling and there's been somewhat of a decent story being told, we haven't been getting a lot of upsets. And it feels like the cats who should have been upsetting folk hadn't really upset folks. So it's kind of making the tournament feel like it's a predictable event. You know, this match right here, the whole storyline about is DG a pro wrestler or is he a sports entertainer? Brian running around here looking like Snake Eyes from Metal Gear Solid. I'm like, I personally think DG could have got a victory right here. Brian was bulletproof. Just because you lose don't mean you eliminated. If you lose 3 times, you out. And I personally think DG has lost 3 times now, so he's out now. He's the first cat out on the blue side. Because we know the gold side is on Dynamite while the blue side is on Collision. I'm sitting up here saying to myself, these cats told a great story. And you had Matt Menard on commentary who was cheering them on and rooting them on and everything. And DG was hanging in there. He hung in there. Him and Brian, man, they got great chemistry, man. They told a great story. I loved everything they was trying to tell. It's this whole point of DG, is he a wrestler? Is he a sports entertainer? And he's going against his idol, which is Bryan Danielson. But he's going to do anything it takes to win. Unfortunately, he came up short. And I guess that's the storyline that Tony Khan and them is doing. So DG had an opportunity to do a promo about what took place, and he sounded like he's bummed, but he said he's still going to pursue to become the guy. Now, I don't know what that means, but that's up to Tony Khan to actually get people invested in DG. I told you, it's the head booker's job. See, the wrestlers do their job, or the head booker does their job, which is creative. Creative is the number one thing that makes pro wrestling great. Creative. That's why a lot of people say, oh, I'm loving what's going on in NXT, or I'm loving what's going on over in TNA land. Speaking of which, like I said, it's a pay-per-view tonight. I have, honestly, I'm serious. I fell off. I got to get back on the grind about what's going on in Impact land, but they got a pay-per-view tonight. Where the heck I been at? But like I say, I got so much going on. That's why I don't really have the time. But like I said, but I'm definitely going to tune in. I'm going to tune in and see what's going on over there. If the pay-per-view is uploaded to the doggone Impact Plus app, I'll probably end up watching it probably sometime next week. But the wrong guy won. I think DG should have won over here. I think DG should have won over. Daniel Garcia goes over, man. I think that crowd goes nuts because they was fully invested. They wanted that man to win. Brian, he did the yes kicks, the yes lock, and the whatever it's called, and he took my man's out. He took him out, and DG was standing over there looking goofy. Like, dang, I lost again. Y'all, that's Rampage, man. Like I said, I listen, overall, with the two matches I cared about, Rampage was decent. Like I said, it could be so much better if it's story driven. If the stories carry the show, more than likely, cats are going to be invested in the right matches that matter, not just random matches that's thrown together. Like the two matches, like OC match, and then Takeshi and Powerhouse Hobbs match. Didn't care nothing about those two matches. But the other two matches, because those two have story, I was cool with them. So, now I got to talk about Deadline. I got to look at the card. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. I got to see what the card is. I got to see exactly what the card is. So, this is the card, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, 7. Okay, so wow, Michael's doing up. 7 matches. Okay, cool. Normally it's about 6. Yeah, that's what they usually do. But got a total of 7 matches. So we got Axum versus Nathan Frazier, and then we got Carmelo Hayes versus Lexis King, and then we got Roxanne Perez and Kiana James, and then we got Dijak versus Trick versus Josh Briggs versus Braun Breaker versus Tyler Bate in an Iron Survivor Challenge. Then we got Tiffany versus Lash versus Blair Davenport versus Killian Jordan versus Fallon Hillian in the Iron Survivor Challenge for the women. Then we got Dominic versus Dragon Lee. Then we got Ilino Dragunov versus Baron Corbin for the main champion, NXT main championship. So, like I said, because I don't really know all of the too much of the storylines or everything. I'm just going off the top of the dome. I can tell you right here, Trick Williams won't be winning this. This is either Dijak or Braun Breaker. One of them is winning. It could be Josh. It could be, but I don't see Trick winning. I think this is when Carmelo shows up and turns on it. Speaking of which, Melo had retweeted AEWshop.com today, and the reason why is because they took the devil gimmick that's MJF and them is using, or whoever the quote-unquote devil is, and they use his slogan. What is Carmelo Hayes' slogan? I'm him. So he responded and said, hey, let me hold one, right? So everybody in the comment section is like, oh, snap, what the heck is going on here? And then I said 2 things are at play. Either Carmelo Hayes, when his WWE's run is up, he's going to jump ship and go to AEW, or what I personally believe was that thought, he's commenting on the quote-unquote devil saying, hey, let me get it, because not only that's his slogan, but everybody in the grandma know who attacked Trick Williams. I ain't even really been watching the show, and I can tell you already it was Carmelo Hayes. So with him doing that, he kind of outed himself by saying that. Lexis King is going to win here. Axum versus Naja Frazier. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm saying, I guess, you know, they've been kind of big on this Nathan Frazier cat. I know this is Seth Rollins' pupil right here. I'm gonna go with Nathan Frazier. So I'm gonna go with Alexis King, Nathan Frazier, with the girls Roxanne Perez and Kiana James. I don't really know what the feud has been like. I don't know who's had the upper hand, but I guess I'm gonna go with Roxanne Perez on this one. Like I said, with the men Iron Survivor, I'm going with either Dijak or Brian Baker. With the girls, now everybody going crazy about Lash Legend, about what she decided to do. She body slammed Otis last week on NXT, so that's all everybody was talking about. That tell me that Lash Legend not winning. So you got Blair Davenport, Tiffany Stratton, Keilani Jordan, and Fallon Hilly. It's either Blair Davenport or Fallon. One of them is winning. Because Tiffany is well established now. So unfortunately, her title reign got screwed by Becky Lynch. But Tiffany is well established. We know Lash Legend ain't doing nothing because of what happened on NXT The Go Home show from the clip that everybody was showing. Keilani Jordan is still growing. She's still trying to get her feet wet right now. So I don't see her winning this thing. So like I said, it's either Blair Davenport or Fallon. Dominique versus Dragon Lee. So Dragon Lee just looked like a bum on SmackDown last night. What a way to make the main cat going up for the title. See, and here's the sad part. These are two main roster cats going up for an NXT title because of the sad situation that happened to Wes Lee. Wes Lee is out the picture. Wes Lee is done. So Dragon Lee stepped in. But the sad part is these are two main roster cats. So it makes me wonder, does Dragon Lee win even with him looking like a bum yesterday? Does he win? He should. He should win. I'm going to go with Dominic Mysterio to win, but I would not be shocked if Dragon Lee get the job done. And I want him to because Dominic Mysterio has been the worst North American champion we ever had. I mean, one of the worst. I ain't never seen no foolishness like that. Just one of the worst. I mean, he ain't elevate nobody with that thing. See, anytime you have a championship, your job is not only to elevate the title, but it's to elevate cats that you get in the ring with. And it seemed like he might have a match or two that's somewhat decent, but it seemed like the cats that be in the ring with, it's like, I don't know. I can't really tell who's better. I don't know. Like I said, it is what it is. But like I said, I want Dragon Lee to win. But like I say, the two of these cats are both on the main roster. So it would not make sense to put the title on Dragon Lee when Dragon Lee ain't going to be on NXT. Dragon Lee is on the main roster. It's kind of stupid. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so that makes me think Mysterio is retaining until somebody else is being built up in NXT to potentially take him down. So that title can stay on NXT instead of bringing it to the main roster and it ain't elevate nobody. And in the main event, Illegano Dragunov, Baron Corbin. Let me tell y'all something. They've really revamped Baron Corbin. I ain't really been watching like that. Dragunov is the guy. He just won that championship off of Melo. He ain't losing no time soon. This man is walking in and walking out with the title. It's not that hard. It's that simple. Now, I don't know if these two matches are determined who's going to be next in line to win or get an opportunity to face said champions. So I'm assuming that since what's the young lady? The current NXT Women's Champion, the girl that beat Becky, Lyra Valkyria. I don't know if she's being portrayed as a babyface or heel, but I know Blair Davenport, from what I'm told, is still a heel. So she'll probably be the one to win if this is an opportunity for her to face her. Cool. I ain't got a problem with that. Then as for the fellas, Trick definitely not winning. Josh Briggs, I don't know too much about him. Brian Breaker, let me tell you something. Even though I picked him to be one of them, Brian Breaker on his way up to the main roster. Tyler Blake, he sounded like he on his way up to the main roster. So you got Dijak. Dijak is sitting right there. Like I said, Trick get ready to get screwed by Melo. It's the handwriters on the wall. So that's pretty much my predictions. And ladies and gentlemen, I've been talking for a long time. I ain't really got nothing else to say. I just appreciate everybody who came through. I always thank everybody that interacts with me, who takes the time out their busy schedule to hear what I'm talking about in these IWC streets. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. And I'll talk to y'all cats later. Make sure you hit that like button. I'll let your boy.